Well, hey, welcome back. I have my tea and ready to have a quick chat. Disclaimer, this is more of a discussion, so we'll talk about style, but we're also going to talk about some of the seasons of life and how style can be a part of that. So if you're not interested in a discussion, I'll see you on the next video. And thank you for your support too. So for those who choose to stay, I don't think there's a person, you know, who can say that they don't know what it feels like to lose something, especially over the last few years. And believe me, disclaimer, that's not what this video is about. Um, let's start with me. Style is a part of our grief process as well as our rebirth process. And one of the reasons why I talk about our core wardrobe is because our core wardrobe is part of our identity. It's really who we are, right? The pieces that make us, the pieces that we feel comfortable in, the pieces that actually have memories attached to it. So I've been on an evolution probably since 2018 when I lost my grandmother. And I'm still trying to get over that. And we won't even go any further about that because grief has its own place. And I want it to be focused more so on how my style was through some of the losses that I've taken. So I'm still going through that. And each day and each year, is different. And it's so true. One day you can be okay, and then the next day you could be in fetal position. But I thought I had it together in 2021. I thought I had my feet under me. We won't even talk about 2020. So, because of 2020, none of us, anything that we were thinking about doing, we had to just pause it. And then, so for sure, 2021 was the year. And 2021 was a great year, actually, and odd and quirky in its own way. But I lost my pet. She got her wings in August of 2021. And if you're not a pet lover, you won't get it, and that's okay. Um, she had been with me for almost 14 years. So for 14 years, I had a little rat terrier that followed me everywhere I went, and she held on to the very end. And we were still in that awkward space of where are we with the new normal? And then I had to learn another layer of new normal. And so for the people that I work with, they couldn't tell that, boy, the internal grief and battle that I had going, they couldn't tell. And the reason for that is because I had my core way of showing up to this world, which tied back to my wardrobe. So when we would get on a meeting, they would see me looking like Dina. They would hear me talking like Dina. They didn't know that I had just cried that whole morning or the whole night before. They didn't know that. But what it is because I was authentic to how I presented myself to the world, they didn't know what or how bad I was hurting. And anybody who's lost anything has hurt. So that was part of what I wanted to accomplish with this channel. Style has to be relatable, right? Style is gorgeous when you can get on your platform and have on your best outfit, your best lighting, your best angles, and everything's perfect and blah, 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 blah. That's the superficial part of it, which I have no problem with. But there's also a way of having style when it's not perfect. Who are you really? And that's what I wanted this channel to help us search for. Who are we really when it's not lights, camera, action? Who are we when we're having to function through the world? So our clothes and our fashion is how we show up to the world. It's the first thing that people see when we're approaching them is, oh, she's really put together. Or, ooh, girl, I love that. I can't wear tennis shoes, but you're killing it, and those types of things. So it is important. But let's take the superficial part out of it and just say, okay, what actually makes me feel good? A couple of videos back, I did the leather pants and I didn't have a blazer, and I felt so because I didn't have my blazer on. And so it's okay to have those things because they are what makes you you. And then when you are going through those ups and downs in life, having that core wardrobe and that core identity is what really helps you still be able to function and show up to the world and people not say, whoa, she's really different. And don't get me wrong, there are things that change because to every grief, to every loss, there's a new beginning and there's a rebirth. And my rebirth came in the form of a dog that was come the polar opposite of the dog that I lost. And I owe my son this because he wanted a bigger dog and a male dog. And I had a little bitty girl dog. So long story short, we got Chief. And Chief has made an appearance, not on camera, but maybe he will one day once he calms down. But he's a younger dog and he's a Catahoula. So he's completely different to anything I've ever had. And I noticed that my style of even being at home with Chief is different. When I had Brandy, my dog that I lost, I could walk around the house in full glam. She wouldn't bother me. Even when she was a puppy, she wouldn't bother me because she was small. Chief, I have Chief clothes because he's a big dog. He's 50 pounds, and that's big to me. And I have to approach my day different with Chief. I have to have Chief clothes because we play every night and have our play dates and things like that. And if you haven't noticed, that rebirth energy of just his presence of being in this house has, I'm already sitting up and I sound alive. And he's been a blessing in so many ways. And I've had to, again, identify my style, even with how I transport him in my SUV, which I don't, because that's a whole different story. But I've had to approach life different because of a loss. But because of that loss, it gave room for me to expand and explore with being a little bit more casual when I am around the house. Which purse am I going to carry? Well, I'm definitely not going to carry my favorite delicate bag when I'm taking him somewhere, which again, I really don't, but and because of the times we're in now anyway. So I've had to expand my personal style at home because of the dog that we had. And I shine different. I glow different when I talk about him. And my style has evolved in that space. So when we talk about style, it's not so much about, oh, I'm glamorous, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that. It's really about being adaptable because you never know what twists and turns are going to come your way. And it's always good to have that fundamental place in your closet that can pull you back. So when I was grieving and having to be on the call video as I was crying for Brandy, you know, I would go to my favorite blazer. That made me feel better. And so because I had memories attached to that or a feeling attached to that, I was able to function. So as we talk about core wardrobes going further into the series, I want you to know that it hit me too as recent as 6 months ago. And style is a beautiful thing. Always know how to tap into your style. Always know when it's time for it to have a rebirth. And when you are having that rebirth, it's fun because as I found comfortable clothes around the house or found comfortable clothes to wear around the house with Chief, it's been fun. Stuff that I would have never thought I would wear. So be open with your style, be authentic to your style, give it a chance, give it a try. And as you go through things in life, the highs and the lows, always have your style, which should be graceful, authentic, and true to who you are, which is the same as authentic. So I wanted to stop in real quick and just share that. Style is so much deeper than clothes. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that I was coming from a place of understanding and hopefully being able to relate to my audience. So be safe and enjoy this beautiful day. And I will see you in the next video.